Look, I wouldn't have picked Vice President Trump to be vice president, but I think she was not qualified to be president. So let's start there.
There's no other way to say this other than goodbye, Joe. Your time has come and gone, and it's time for you to step aside. Now, I don't know who they're going to choose as his replacement, but right now, mega donors, big liberal Democrat donors, have frozen $90 million in donations for Biden's re-election campaign. When you have people with that kind of money telling you, sorry, we cannot risk giving you this kind of money because we know Joe Biden cannot beat Donald Trump in November. He cannot be the leader of the free world. And all he is doing is putting the safety and security of the American people at risk. You know, Joe Biden is done.
Breaking this hour, New York Times reporting donors have told the largest pro-Biden super PAC that roughly $90 million in pledges are now frozen if Biden remains at the top of the ticket.
But it gets better. One of the most hardcore liberal Democrats in the mainstream media is Jake Tapper from CNN. Even Jake has been talking about Joe Biden stepping aside. And now, after Biden did a radio interview with a black radio station in Philadelphia, because, you know, he grew up in the black church, right? And he had the most black cabinet members and staff, we all know is a lie. Biden campaign staff or Biden White House staff called the radio station and asked them to edit a couple of Joe's answers because they were outright lies. One of them being the black staffers. Biden can't connect with anyone any longer. I don't even know if he connected with anyone for his almost 50 years in public service, but right now, when, again, the most hardcore liberal media, CNN, and their star, Jake Tapper, is telling us Biden needs to go, we know Biden's done. It's only a matter of time. So here's what Jake had to say.
After President Biden called in for a radio interview, one of these interviews done to kind of quell concerns and show the president was fine and completely on point. After he did that call, the Biden campaign called that station asking them to edit out two of his answers. Civic Media, Wisconsin Progressive Talk Radio Network, acknowledged that staff took out the Biden campaign's suggested edits, deleting two answers from the president's July 3rd interview with host Earl Ingram. The first answer is Biden said, quote, I have more blacks in my administration than any other president, all other presidents combined, and in major positions, cabinet positions. Obviously not an accurate thing to say. The second, when Biden was talking about Trump's past comments about the Central Park Five, and we should note, like, this is a big journalism no editing out an answer because the politician in his campaign didn't like it, or they didn't like how he came across. I don't know exactly the reason. We'll find out from the Biden campaign maybe someday.
And there it is. It doesn't get any clearer than that. Everyone knows that Biden cannot continue. I believe that everyone knows that Dr. Jill is behind this facade of keeping Joe out there, because I always say this and I love to say it because it's true. Jill Biden thinks she is someone, Dr. Jill. Millions of people have PhDs in English, Jill. You're not the only one. You're not a doctor, although Whoopi Goldberg thinks you are, but I won't talk about that. Jill Biden, for some reason, thinks she needs to remain relevant, when the reality of it is Jill Biden just wants to keep traveling the world on an Air Force jet on the taxpayer's dime and continue living the life of First Lady in the White House, being waited on hand, and foot. That's all this is about. Jill Biden doesn't want to go off to one of the beach houses in Delaware while she watches her husband waste away. Quite frankly, and I'm going to go out on a limb here, but I believe this. When Biden's done with politics, Jill Biden is done with Joe. That's my guess, and I can't wait to see what happens. Because Jill Biden doesn't care about Joe's health. She doesn't care about Joe's well-being. She cares about herself. She cares about traveling the world, meeting with leaders, meeting with other leaders' wives, because she thinks she's something. When we all know she's just another politician's wife who got some time in the White House, but she took it a little too far, and now she's continuing to keep her suffering husband out there to embarrass this country on the world stage. Enough is enough. Clinton, Obama, Clooney, all the so-called Hollywood elites, they need to pull Jill aside and tell her, listen, lady, it's over. You are killing this man. He can't do it, so you need to tell him it's time to go away and just live out the rest of your years being a former president. End it. It's over. The biggest concern is who's going to be their replacement, and that remains to be seen. So stay tuned, because we're going to be talking about this a lot in the coming days and weeks, because it's only going to get better. And I believe that at the Democrat National Convention, they'll show us and tell us who the replacement's going to be. I have guesses. I won't get into it now, but it is what it is. Thanks for tuning in. If you haven't liked this video, please hit the like button. Share this video with someone. I'd appreciate that. It would help my channel. I appreciate everyone. I hope you're all healthy and safe. Have a great night, and we'll see you soon.